Welcome, welcome, welcome to the 2021 TAM Awards of Excellence. My name is Tori Mason. I am the Interpretive Programs Manager over at the Nashville Zoo, and I am also your TAM Awards Committee Chairperson. I am going to quickly share my screen here, and we will get started with our program. All right, here we go. 2020, what a year indeed. I'm sure we have all said, thought, or implemented all of these phrases many times over this past year. Last year, we, the board and all of you, were devastated when we knew that we had to cancel the conference literally at the last minute. And none of us knew exactly where we'd be come this time in 2021, but here we are. And in planning this year's Awards of Excellence, again, we weren't sure where we'd be. Many of us closed for good a chunk of the year. Some of our colleagues sadly closed permanently. And what kind of exhibits and programming could have possibly been done in last year's chaos? Would we even have had any awards nominations this year? Now, in a normal year, we see around 90 nominations. And to be honest, my expectations this year were very, very low. But our amazing TAM institutions showed just exactly what tenacity and drive you have. We received 85 nominations this year, which is outstanding. And I want to quote a couple of our nominees and their sentiments in their nominations. From Davies Manor, they have to say, like every museum in Tennessee, we learned how to adapt and continue providing interpretive opportunities in the absence of visitors. And from the Chester Inn, our nominations are a testament to the flexibility and the ability to shift gears to meet the short-term needs while laying groundwork for tools that can be utilized for the long term. Now, I think those two quotes sum up our year pretty nicely, don't you? Well done to each and every one of you that submitted a nomination this year. And even if you didn't submit a nomination, well done to you too. The awards committee once again was very impressed over and over with the creativity, resourcefulness, and commitment shown in all of our nominations. And we think you'll agree Tennessee museums are doing some amazing things. We want to encourage you to reach out to the winners, congratulate them, ask them about their winning entries, and be inspired by their ideas. And we also are going to be featuring winners over the coming weeks on the TAM website and on our social media pages. And we hope that this will not only encourage and inspire you, but be a helpful way of sharing your achievements with many, many others near and far. But first of all, I want to introduce you to our awards committee. Your awards committee is a dedicated volunteer group of TAM members, many who have been longtime committee members. I ask an awful lot of them, especially in January and February, and they come through every time. I'm thankful, so thankful, for their commitment and dedication to TAM, for their thoughtful input and commentary, and for their professionalism. They're a great team. And so to introduce you all to them, I'm going to start over here with Renee Rogers. She represents East Tennessee. She is at the birthplace of country music in Bristol. Nikki Ward is one of our newest members. She represents Middle Tennessee. She's from the Tennessee Historical Commission and Tennessee History Day. Patricia Vorndick is an independent exhibit designer, and she is one of our long-term committee members and is an at-large representative. And then Shayna Haynes is also a new member this year. She is from the I-75 Welcome Center in Chattanooga and represents East Tennessee. Also on the committee, we've got Christopher Grisham from the Tennessee State Museum. He represents Middle Tennessee. We've got Erica Dahlgren from Belmead Historic Site and Winery, who is one of our at-large representatives. Emily Shipsey Polney from the Linebaugh Library in Murfreesboro, who is an at-large representative. And finally, Eric Huey from Fort Loudon State Historic Site as an East Tennessee representative. Now, you may or may not have noticed we're missing some West Tennessee representatives. And I've got 2 openings for West Tennessee representatives. So there will be some information at the end of this presentation, but if you are interested in serving on our wonderfully fun committee, We would love to have you. If you're interested, please reach out to myself or one of the committee members. But again, you need to be from West Tennessee. Now, to tell you a little bit about our process, all of the nominations were looked over by each and every member of the committee and scored on a 1 to 5 scale, with 5 being the highest and 1 being the lowest. We all met this year via Zoom, and we discussed each and every nomination and then shared our scores and why we gave a nomination that particular score. The scores were then totaled and averaged, and if the average score was between 5.0 and 4.5, it received an award of excellence. If the average score was between 4.49 and 3.75, it received an award of commendation. If a committee member's institution was a nominee, that committee member sat out of the scoring and was not included in the average final score. Now, there were a few nominations that we felt fit better in different categories than what they were originally nominated in, so we moved them. If you see that one of your nominations was moved and want to know our reasons, please reach out, we'll let you know. And we welcome you all to provide us with feedback, with comments, some minor complaints if you've got them, but on any aspect of the awards, we're always trying and striving to make this process as easy as possible for everyone. Your awards committee is now pleased to present to you the outstanding achievements of you and your colleagues for the year 2020. We're going to go in order of the category size of museums. We're starting with Category 1 museums, or as I like to call them, the little museums that could. First up, we've got the Monterey Depot Museum in Monterey. For their audio-visual video blog, On the Road with Dale Welch, an award of excellence. Next up, we've got Granville Museum in Granville. For their permanent exhibit, Farm to Table Museum, an award of excellence. And for special recognition, their Mayberry I Love Lucy Museum, an award of commendation. Next, we have Category 2 museums. First up is the Lynn H. Wood Archaeological Museum, Southern Adventist University in Collegedale. For their blockbuster exhibit, From Script to Scripture, The History of the Bible, an award of excellence. Next up is ETSU Tipton and Slocum Galleries in Johnson City. Special recognition, Visibility as Presence, Black Diaspora, New Latinx South, Asian Appalachian, an award of excellence. Next up is the Chester Inn State Historic Site and Museum in Jonesboro. For their temporary exhibit, If You Don't Watch Out, the Influenza Pandemic in and around Washington County, September 1918 to February 1919, an award of excellence. For their audiovisual film documentary, With the Victorians film series, an award of excellence. And I would recommend going and watching some of these little clips. They're hysterically fun. Next up is the Heritage Alliance of Northeast Tennessee and Southwest Virginia in Jonesboro. For their publication book, A Taste of Tennessee, a community curated cookbook, an award of excellence. And for their audio-visual video blog, Home Cooked History, an award of excellence. Next up is the Reese Museum at East Tennessee State University in Johnson City. For their temporary exhibit, Suffrage in Southern Appalachia exhibit, an award of excellence. And for special recognition, Local Art in the Age of the 2020 Global Pandemic Collection, an award of excellence. Next is the Morton Museum of Collierville History in Collierville. For their educational programming, Make History, a workbook for junior historians, an award of excellence. And for digital media, social media, their social media campaign, an award of excellence. Next is the West Tennessee Delta Heritage Center in Brownsville. For their temporary exhibit, 2 temporary exhibitions curated by student interns, an award of excellence. For special recognition, Museum Internship Program, an award of excellence. For their publication book, Museum Publications, Inspiring Education Safe Community Engagement, an award of commendation. And for digital media, social media, Curator's Corner, an award of commendation. All right, moving right along, Category 3 museums. The Abraham Lincoln Library and Museum in Harrogate. For their publication book, Passport to the Past Activity Book, an award of excellence. Next is the Davies Manor Association in Bartlett. For their audiovisual video blog, Inside Davies Video Series, an award of excellence. Next up is Oakland's Mansion in Murfreesboro. Their audiovisual film documentary, The Untold Story of the Manny Family Slaves, an award of excellence. Historic Travelers Rest in Nashville. For their audiovisual film documentary, The First Overtons of Travelers Rest, an award of excellence. And for educational programming, Archaeology Camp at Historic Travelers Rest, an award of commendation. Category 4 museums. Bellmead Historic Site and Winery in Nashville. For their educational programming, family tours, an award of excellence. The Charles H. Coolidge National Medal of Honor Heritage Center in Chattanooga. For their educational programming, Living History virtual classes, an award of excellence. For their temporary exhibit, Dr. Mary Walker, Surgeon, Spy, and Patriot, an award of excellence. For their permanent exhibit, Medal of Honor Above and Beyond Gallery, an award of commendation. In their audiovisual film documentary, Medal of Honor Heritage Center Introductory Film, an award of commendation. Category 5 museums. First up, we have the Lane Motor Museum in Nashville. For their temporary exhibit, Opportunity and the Open Road, an award of excellence. For their publication book, A Hobby Gone Wild, an award of excellence. For their audiovisual video blog, The Inside Lane, an award of excellence. And yes, that's that John Oates. Next up is the Museum of Science and History in Memphis. And that's my bird in the background saying hello. For their educational programming, Activities at Home, which some of you might have seen in one of the sessions earlier today, an award of excellence. And for their, this is two categories here, for their digital media blog, Closer Look blog, and digital media podcast, Tributaries, both also discussed in that session earlier today, and both awards of excellence. Moving on to East Tennessee Historical Society in Knoxville. Their temporary exhibit, Black and White, Knoxville in the Jim Crow Era, an award of excellence. For their publication Gallery Guide, Black and White, Knoxville in the Jim Crow Era Gallery Guide, an award of excellence. For their educational programming, Zoom through East Tennessee Virtual Visit Series, an award of excellence. For their digital media page, social media, TikTok page, an award of excellence. What? I laughed hard. I don't know about you all, but I laughed hard. Next up is the Customs House Museum and Cultural Center in Clarksville. For their blockbuster exhibit, 25th anniversary of the Lucy Dunwoody Bame Porcelain Collection, an award of excellence. For their educational programming, Museum Discovery Quest, an award of excellence. For their audiovisual film documentary, Huff and Puff Express Model Train Exhibit Tour, an award of excellence. And for their special event, the Grand Illumination, an award of commendation. Next up, the Birthplace of Country Music Museum in Bristol. For their educational programming, Museum from Home with Real Folk Virtual Tour, an award of excellence. For their digital media podcast, Museum Talk with Renee and Scotty, an award of excellence. And for their publication newsletter, Birthplace of Country Music Museum Volunteer Newsletter, Award of Excellence. And I'm going to jump in. This is the perfect example of reaching out to your colleagues. I'm so going to steal this idea and use it at my own institution. I loved this newsletter. And for special recognition, the Infectious Disease Prevention and Safety Plan, an award of excellence. And finally, in this category, the Metal Museum, who led our nominations with 14 nominations from the Metal Museum. You guys have been busy. For their temporary exhibit, It Takes a Village, a crowd-curated exhibit, an award of excellence. For their publication, PR Kit for It Takes a Village exhibition, an award of excellence. For their audiovisual exhibit component, Village Voices, voter commentary on artworks in the exhibition, an award of excellence. Audiovisual audio tour, Sculpture Garden audio tour, an award of excellence. Audiovisual video blog, 2020 virtual art activities at the Metal Museum, an award of excellence. Digital media website, digital learning initiatives, an award of excellence. Special event, a socially distant repair days, an award of excellence. Special recognition, enrich the experience campaign, an award of excellence. Special novelty item, make away, an award of excellence. Publication flat paper, glossary sheet for tradition of excellence, Japanese techniques in contemporary metal arts, an award of excellence. Publication gallery guide, traditional experience, Japanese techniques in contemporary metal arts, gallery guide, an award of commendation. Publication annual report, an award of commendation. Finally, our big guys, the Category 6 museums. First up is the Frist Art Museum in Nashville. Temporary exhibit, We Count, first-time voters, an award of excellence. Educational programming, Frist Art Museum Trilingual Storytime Online, an award of excellence. Cheekwood in Nashville. For their temporary exhibit, 2020 Martin Schallenberger Artist in Residence, Hiroshi Sato, an award of excellence. Special recognition, Where Flowers Virtually Bloom, Cheekwood Marketing Campaign, an award of excellence. For special event, In Plein Air, an award of commendation. Next up is Discovery Park of America in Union City. For their permanent exhibit, Agriculture, Innovating for Our Survival, an award of excellence. For their special event, Twas the Night Before Christmas at Discovery Park, an award of excellence. For their publication book, Discovery Park of America Guidebook, an award of commendation. For their publication PR kit, DPA PR Insights from New Ag Exhibit, an award of commendation. The Tennessee State Museum in Nashville. Their temporary exhibit, Ratified, Tennessee Women and the Right to Vote exhibition, an award of excellence. For their traveling exhibit, To Make Our Voices Heard, Tennessee Women's Fight for the Vote, an award of excellence. Publication gallery guide, Ratified, statewide, broadside, that's just fun to say, Award of Excellence. For digital media website, ratified, statewide, online exhibition, an Award of Excellence. Special novelty item, ratified, apparel and merchandise, some of which is available in the silent auction, I might add, an Award of Excellence. Educational programming, Tennessee Storytime at the Tennessee State Museum, an Award of Excellence. Special event, Juneteenth Reflections, Museums and Cultural Competency, an Award of Excellence. Special recognition, Virtual Haunted Museum, an Award of Excellence. Digital Media Blog, Junior Curators Blog, an Award of Excellence. That brings us to volunteers. So 2020 was not a normal year for us to see our volunteers. I know most of us were closed for a good chunk of time. A lot of us were very cautious about bringing back volunteers if we brought them back at all. But we did have some good nominations for volunteers this year. We're going to start with a nomination for individuals in their volunteerism. We have Susan Sullivan from the Morton Museum of Collierville History. A member of the volunteer organization, she's a member of the volunteer organization called the Friends of the Morton Museum. Before 2020, Susan intermittently volunteered as a reader for their Friday Story Time series. Once the pandemic hit, she shifted to video and Facebook videos. Susan quickly jumped in and said yes, she would be happy to do that. Each Friday, she's provided a wonderful video and 2 new stories to share with the virtual community. And because of her commitment and skill, the museum has been able to maintain Friday Story Time as a reliable and beloved community gathering time. To date, Susan has filmed with cows, cats, moving trains, flowers, and even chickens. Susan's Storytime videos help Collierville's children maintain a sense of normalcy during the pandemic. They know that they can tune into the Facebook page at 10:30 a.m. on Fridays and see Susan's smiling face. Congratulations, Susan, on your Award of Excellence. For volunteerism and in-house programs, we want to recognize the Repair Days group volunteers from the Metal Museum in Memphis. The Metal Museum's annual fundraiser, Repair Days, brings metalsmiths from across the country together to volunteer their skills and share their love of the craft. Over the past 40 years, this event has grown to see 100 volunteer metalsmiths and 50 more volunteers who come from all over the country and volunteer their time and expertise to benefit the museum. Some of those volunteers have attended nearly every Repair Days the museum has hosted. That is until 2020, when the scale of the physical event was reduced to less than a quarter of its previous size, limiting the number of volunteers who could join in. One of the most important parts of Repair Days is the recognition of the many contributions of these volunteers, 4 of whom are presented with an annual award called the Keeler Award that recognizes their outstandingness. The museum wanted to continue this tradition in 2020, but couldn't determine who to highlight. So all of the loyal Repair Days volunteers became the recipient of the annual Keeler Award. While this collective experience and virtual celebration was not the same as the in-person event, it was a reminder of the spirit of generosity that is collectively celebrated each year. Congratulations to the Repair Days group of volunteers on your Award of Excellence. And for volunteerism in an outside group project, we want to recognize the Putnam County Master Gardeners from Granville. This group was nominated for designing and creating Pauline's Cottage Garden in the Pioneer Village in historic Granville. Pauline Harder Johnson, a Putnam County Master Gardener, was known for her beautiful and extensive flower gardens. After her death, the Putnam County Master Gardeners learned of her Granville heritage and entered into a conversation with historic Granville about creating a garden in her honor. The actual outbuildings in Pioneer Village, adjacent to the proposed site for the garden, were moved from the Granville area home of Tom McKinley, Pauline's grandfather. This project began in March of 2020. A professional garden designer who was also a Master Gardener member visited Granville and designed the landscape of the garden. Debbie Johnson, Pauline's daughter, gave the club flowers from Pauline's garden, and Putnam County Master Gardeners selected, dug, transported, and then planted the plants into the garden. And another Master Gardener donated the materials and labor to build an arbor. Pauline's cottage garden was completed in May and dedicated during a festival in July. These talented gardeners returned to decorate the garden for each season and plan to conduct gardening seminars in the garden in the future. Congratulations to the Putnam County Master Gardeners on your Award of Excellence. And for our final awards category, we have Emerging Museum Professionals. This year, we got 6 outstanding nominations. Typically, we provide one award from each division of the grand divisions of the state of Tennessee. This year, we ended up with 2 nominations from each division, and the awards committee felt very strongly that all 6 nominations deserved an Award of Excellence. So first up from East Tennessee, this emerging museum professional began as a curatorial and collections intern at her museum in 2017 while working on her undergraduate degree, where staff immediately noticed her passion and commitment to the arts. She was then hired after graduation in 2018 as a part-time frontline manager for the museum. And in February 2020, she was promoted to full-time assistant museum manager, overseeing frontline staff and daily operations of the museum, as well as taking on the role of volunteer coordinator. During 2020, she proposed new ways for volunteers to engage with the museum as advocates, worked with the curatorial team on virtual programming ideas, and then later aided in the extensive repainting and layout changes made to the museum store during the COVID shutdown. She has also embraced the local community and is very active as an advocate for the arts and culture initiatives of the region. In college, she hosted her own radio show entitled Art Talk, where she interviewed Emory and Henry College's visiting artists and other regional artists in depth and related their art to different styles of music. She currently serves on the board for Arts Alliance Mountain Empire. Having the perspective of seeing Summer grow from her time as a student intern into the managerial position she holds now, and seeing her continued desire to evolve in her museum role and branch out into other responsibilities, it's obvious that her contributions to the museum field will only increase. Summer truly is a pleasure to work with and is always willing to give any amount of effort needed to help her team and her organization. And for these reasons, she has quickly become an integral part of the birthplace of Country Music Museum's success. Congratulations, Summer Apostle, from the birthplace of Country Music Museum for your Award of Excellence. Also from East Tennessee, this emerging museum professional started volunteering at her museum in 2018 in collections and education. This led to various roles, including an internship, interim front desk representative, and by 2020, membership and social media coordinator. In November of 2020, she took on an additional role of interim curator of collections for a 3-month term and showed her ability to lead in a senior staff position, all while juggling the other 2 positions and working towards a master's in museum studies. She's progressed from a volunteer to these current roles in less than 4 years. And from the beginning, she showed her passion for the field and dedication to putting in hours of work throughout various requested tasks. It was obvious from early on that the entire staff and organization could count on her to help or take on a job as her own. From working with members and donors to making award-winning TikTok videos, she has worn many hats. The East Tennessee Historical Society is grateful to have Hannah at the organization and looks forward to seeing what she offers the museum field in the future. Congratulations, Hannah McElroy from the East Tennessee Historical Society on your Award of Excellence. From Middle Tennessee, this emerging museum professional, currently an anthropology major, history minor at MTSU, set to graduate in May, only began an internship at her museum in early 2020. But in that short time, she has proven herself to be a self-motivated, exceptional young scholar and promising museum professional. Prior to her internship, she studied and worked on projects in Edinburgh, Scotland, and also at Castilian Springs at an archaeological field school. During her internship, she has utilized the skills she learned, namely international historic preservation and artifact processing, by completing a major inventory, assessment, and rehousing of Cheekwood's large holdings of American and British silver, over 300 pieces. Her outstanding organizational and research skills and passion for collections care impressed and amazed the museum staff, and now who, due to Hannah's work, can now build on their collection of silver through updated installations, interpretation, and digitization. After graduation and pandemic pending, Hannah plans to participate in historic preservation and archaeological work in Romania and Mesoamerica this summer, and then pursue a postgraduate degree. Congratulations to Hannah Morgan from Cheekwood for your Award of Excellence. Also from Middle Tennessee, our next emerging museum professional has served in the public history field since the summer of 2017, when she interned at the Tennessee State Library and Archives as an education outreach intern. She has been at her current museum since 2019, where she started as the museum program coordinator, where she was responsible for leading educational programs, overseeing social media, planning heritage craft classes, and collaborating with the staff to host events. She excelled in every facet, but demonstrated exceptional creativity and resourcefulness in her approaches towards education, and was able to get the museum established as a STEAM passport destination. This partnership alone brought in an additional 1,800 students to the museum. In 2020, she was promoted to museum curator. Her accomplishments are doubly impressive because of the complications imposed by COVID-19 and the museum's temporary shutdown. She executed the best practices through updating artifact storage, through increased and professionalized labeling, and through new exhibits, including a new children's exhibit which opened in December of 2020. Along with her commitment to her position at the Tennessee Agricultural Museum, Sarah is also passionate about promoting other sites and strengthening the public history field in general. Sarah served on the grant review panel for the Tennessee Arts Commission Rural Arts Project Support Program, and also serves on your TAM board as the professional programs chair. Her dedication and commitment to the Tennessee Agricultural Museum and to Tennessee cultural institutions sets her apart as a deserving candidate of the Emerging Museum Professionals Award. Congratulations to Sarah Williams from the Tennessee Agricultural Museum for your Award of Excellence. And our final EMP has volunteered, not our final EMP, our next to last one, our first one from West Tennessee. She started at her museum as an intern before being hired as the registrar in May of 2017. Over the course of the next 3 years, she took on multiple roles when other staff left the museum, including collections, exhibitions, and managing staff. During 2020, she also helped develop COVID protocols and worked on the planned reopening of the museum. Since assuming a managerial role, she has overseen the exhibition schedule and developed several important exhibitions in the museum. She has continued to write blogs, post videos about exhibitions and the collections, and oversee interns. Brooke has also played an active role in starting the Staff Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee. She's taken an active role outside the Metal Museum as well, helping to start an emerging professionals networking group in Memphis and serving on your board of directors for the Tennessee Association of Museums as the student outreach chair. From the museum's executive director are these words: I've been very impressed with Brooke's growth in the past 2 years and look forward to all she will accomplish in the next 2 and beyond. She is a valuable asset to the Metal Museum and to the museum community in Tennessee. Congratulations, Brooke Garcia from the Metal Museum, for your award of excellence. And now our final EMP, our final emerging museum professional. This person has volunteered, interned, and worked in heritage tourism throughout the region. She's currently a PhD candidate working towards her doctoral degree. And in January of 2020, she accepted her first full-time museum job at her current museum. Then, 2 months later, the pandemic struck, and a staff member resigned. While still learning the administrative duties of her job, she immediately began collecting COVID-19 stories for the museum's archive from the people of her town. She began working on virtual programming, and along with her staff, she created a children's book and launched a social media campaign that included topical posts, large-scale virtual events, and a brand new virtual exhibit. Because of all of this, the museum's YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram accounts grew rapidly, and the museum stayed connected to community members and volunteers. Lydia also navigated the unpredictable landscape in Collierville gracefully. She handled last-minute facility openings and closings as dictated by the town of Collierville, research requests about difficult historical and contemporary subjects, and began a program to create finding aids, research aids, and a local cemetery guide. Lydia is an exceptional museum professional who has handled her first role during a very trying time with ease and grace. Congratulations to Lydia Warren from the Morton Museum of Collierville History on your Award of Excellence. Those are our awards, guys. And now we have come to the Past President's Award. For those of you new to TAM, the Past President's Award is basically the best of the best. The awards committee, as we are going through all of our nominations, we keep in mind those nominations that really stand out to us, those nominations that make us go, wow, those nominations that give us goosebumps, those nominations that make us want to do what those people are doing. And we make a note of that. And then we get those nominations to our past presidents. Now, in a normal year, we would give them about 5 different nominations to consider. And then our past presidents make the decision as to who the winner is going to be. This year, there were so many outstanding nominations that we couldn't narrow it down. So we presented them with 10 contenders. That's right, 10. We just couldn't narrow it down. The past presidents that took part this year include Dolly Boyd, Ken Mays, Adam Alfrey, Bill Hickerson, Myers Brown, Dan Pomeroy, and Jane Jerry. Now, some of these past presidents chose to sit out of this process because there was a conflict with either them or their museum, but we still had some wonderful comments from the presidents that did participate. And those comments include these. All of the entries were really good, and judging across the categories made it hard. And another comment, I would be happy to see most any of these nominations win. It's a very inspiring group. And finally, all of the 10 past President's Award nominees are impressive, and I could happily endorse all of them as winners. So, without further ado, here are our contenders for the 2021 Past President's Award. Bellmead Historic Site and Winery for their educational program, Family Tours. Charles H. Coolidge National Medal of Honor Heritage Center for their educational program, Living History Virtual Classes. Cheekwood, Special Recognition, Where Flowers Virtually Bloom marketing campaign. Customs House Museum and Cultural Center for their educational program, Museum Discovery Quest. The Frist Art Museum for their temporary exhibit, We Count First-Time Voters. The Abraham Lincoln Library and Museum for their publication book, Passport to the Past Activity Book. The Reese Museum at East Tennessee State University for special recognition, local art in the age of the 2020 global pandemic collection. The East Tennessee Historical Society for their temporary exhibit, Black and White, Knoxville in the Age of the Jim Crow Era. The Tennessee State Museum for their temporary exhibit, Ratified, Tennessee Women and the Right to Vote exhibition. And also the Tennessee State Museum for their traveling exhibit, To Make Our Voices Heard, Tennessee Women's Fight for the Vote. Are you ready? Congratulations to the Tennessee State Museum for their temporary exhibit, Ratified, Tennessee Women and the Right to Vote exhibition. Congratulations on your Past President's Award. The exhibition is up for a couple of more weeks if you haven't had a chance to see it yet. Congratulations to all of you guys. Congratulations to all the winners. We will be mailing your certificates to you very soon. We want to encourage you to take pictures of yourself with your certificates, brag, post on social media, share away, use the hashtag TAM Awards, and we would love to see everything that you're doing. Again, if you want to be on this fun committee, we're looking for 2 representatives from West Tennessee. Please reach out to a committee member or you can email me directly there at tmason@nashvillezoo.org. We would love to have you join us. That's it, guys. It's a wrap. We look forward to seeing you next year in Kingsport. Thanks, everybody.